Illuminated by the symbolic glow surrounding the British royal household, the connection between King Charles and Camilla has always carried layers of quiet questions and shifting perceptions. What once seemed like a harmonious union has gradually transformed into a turning point no one expected, sending ripples through both Buckingham Palace and the watching world. Their paths, once intertwined, have now moved in different directions, a truth rarely spoken aloud yet subtly acknowledged by many. What forces shaped this divergence, and what hidden currents stir behind the ornate, time-worn walls of the monarchy? This is the deeper narrative waiting to be uncovered. No one truly knows when the first subtle fractures began to form. Perhaps it was the quiet pressure of tradition, the intricate maze of royal connections, or maybe those long pauses, once harmless, became the echoes that spoke louder than words. If this perspective resonates with you, drop a 1-inch the comments. If your view drifts in another direction, leave a 0 below. And while you're here, relax, enjoy the video, and tap subscribe. Your support inspires me to continue uncovering stories that captivate, illuminate, and spark reflection. Camilla did not walk away as someone defeated, nor did she cling to a chapter that had already reached its quiet conclusion. Instead, she stepped aside with a calm sense of acceptance, leaving behind titles, debates, and one of Britain's most public love stories. Charles, positioned at the peak of authority, still carries the composure expected of a king. Yet beneath the crown stands a man, attempting to navigate the pull of responsibility while facing a private loss no tradition or handbook ever prepared him to endure. No one has fallen, and no one has emerged triumphant. What lingers is a connection that once seemed untouched by time, now dissolving into quiet shadows like the final lines of a royal tale drifting to a close. No turmoil, no declarations, and no roadmap for what may come next. The public watches in stunned silence as disbelief settles in, while social platforms surge with countless reactions spanning astonishment, confusion, fascination, and even unexpected delight. News outlets are now revisiting Camilla's past appearances. Her subtle, unreadable smile in a flowing green gown at a charity gala. Her composed expression beside Charles during the coronation moments that now carry lingering questions. Why did things shift? What unfolded beyond the public eye? Once known as the figure who reshaped the narrative of Charles and Princess Diana's troubled marriage, Camilla Parker now stands at yet another quiet, uncertain turning point, where familiar paths seem to blur into mystery once more. The Queen's journey unfolds like a sweeping legend. From a once forbidden connection in the 1,970 seconds, through years of intense public scrutiny, to ultimately rising as Queen in 2022, her path has been shaped by both resilience and relentless debate. Diana's unforgettable words from her 1995 BBC interview still linger in the collective memory. "There are 3 of us in this marriage, so it's a bit crowded." A line that carried a quiet ache then, and one that never entirely faded. Nearly 3 decades later, that sentiment still resonates sharply, reopening reflections on one of the monarchy's most challenging eras. Camilla, though crowned queen, can never entirely escape the vast legacy Diana left behind, a presence shaped by compassion, sorrow, and extraordinary strength. Her quiet withdrawal now reveals an uncomfortable truth. Even the grandest throne cannot hold more than one emotional imprint at a time. But what has brought a woman who once faced an entire world for the sake of love to this uncertain moment? A shift in palace dynamics? A choice made in silence? Or simply the natural course of a story reaching its final arc? Just hours after the unexpected announcement, all of England and much of the world began sifting through the memories of decades past. Historians, commentators, and media voices raced to interpret the moment, as though piecing together fragments of a long, intricate saga. They recalled the turbulence of the early 1,990 seconds, when a private exchange between Charles and Camilla became public and altered the royal narrative. They revisited the unraveling of Charles and Diana's marriage, the profound sorrow surrounding Diana's passing in 1997, and Camilla's gradual, carefully measured entry into the royal fold in 2005, an effort to approach a nation still wrestling with grief and unresolved emotions. Each moment becomes a fragment of the intricate Windsor mosaic, with Camilla emerging both as a figure often questioned and as a testament to endurance amid shifting tides. Yet Charles's message feels like more than a formal declaration. It carries the quiet weight of a deeper turning point. Observers speculate about moments of tension in the days leading up to the announcement, hinting at conversations that may have revealed strain beneath the surface. A bond once seen as unwavering now appears to rest at a fragile crossroads, suggesting that even long-standing connections can face challenges no one anticipated. According to those familiar with palace dynamics, Charles is said to have expressed a rare moment of uncertainty to a close advisor, an admission that suggested immense pressure rather than a literal statement. Such whispered reflections drifted through the royal halls like a cold, unsettling draft, raising a single haunting question. What could have pushed Camilla, a woman who once reshaped her entire life, to stand beside Charles to step away at this moment in time? Was it a strategic withdrawal, a quiet act meant to protect the institution, or simply the natural unraveling of a journey weighed down by echoes of a complicated past? In the dimmed passageways of the palace, murmurs began to rise, subtle phrases, exchanged glances, and quiet truths waiting for their moment to emerge. This is not simply the account of a queen's departure. It is the unfolding of a monarchy standing at a pivotal moment where tradition, loyalty, and shifting alliances intersect in a complex dance. Camilla may have stepped aside, but the ripple she leaves behind is only just beginning, casting the royal household into a period of uncertainty that could reshape the path ahead in unexpected ways. And somewhere in the quiet shadows, the memory of Diana still lingered, a symbolic reminder of a legacy that shaped the very foundation of the crown. Buckingham Palace, with its towering stone walls and endless halls, had long carried the weight of untold stories. Yet in the days leading up to Camilla's announcement, the atmosphere seemed to shift, growing dense and contemplative, as if the historic walls themselves were bracing for a change that had been building for years. The usually reserved palace staff began to hint at an unusual shift in the atmosphere. As queen, Camilla was said to be taking a more active role in ceremonial matters, creating moments of friction that suggested differing visions within the royal household. Observers noted that the dynamic between Charles and Camilla had appeared strained in recent months, with subtle signs that their approaches to key royal responsibilities were no longer fully aligned. One evening, in a quiet dining room where the soft glow of candlelight stretched long, uncertain shadows, Camilla is said to have pressed Charles to reevaluate the pace of upcoming public appearances. Her tone reflected determination as she emphasized the need for a more unified presentation of the royal image. Charles, carrying the weight of long days and heavier expectations, replied with a calm yet measured firmness. He gently reminded her that while their roles were intertwined, the structure of the monarchy required clear distinctions, boundaries that had guided the institution for generations. Those words, though delivered gently, seemed to shift the entire atmosphere. Camilla, her expression suddenly sharpened with emotion, rose from her seat, her green silk gown gliding across the floor as she stepped away in silence, leaving a stillness that felt almost ceremonial in its intensity. The pivotal moment came when Camilla reportedly chose to revise the schedule for an upcoming speech by the Princess of Wales. Kate felt the address placed unusual weight on contemporary themes and diverged from the monarchy's traditional tone. The adjustment took the palace by surprise and stirred a wave of quiet unease through its corridors. Kate, admired for her poise and dedication, had shaped the speech to spotlight her charitable work, a defining part of her public mission. When Charles learned what had occurred, he addressed the matter with Camilla in his private office, where generations of royal portraits watched in quiet solemnity. "You should not overstep the boundaries of Kate's responsibilities," he said, his voice filled with restrained intensity, his posture tense as if containing emotions that words alone could not fully express. "You are weakening the harmony of this institution," Camilla replied, her voice carrying an unusual firmness. "You always shield them, but whoever stands up for me. I reshaped my entire life to be here, Charles. Yet you speak as though my presence were nothing more than an obligation." The exchange concluded with a sharp gesture against the table, a sound that echoed with the weight of unspoken emotion, before Camilla stepped out of the room, leaving Charles surrounded by a silence that felt heavier than any argument. The tension extended well beyond ceremonial duties. Camilla was said to be seeking a greater voice in internal matters, from recommending staff to offering input on the rhythm of the royal calendar. At one point, she reportedly expressed concern about a senior advisor whose approach she felt had been dismissive during a private discussion. Feeling increasingly strained by the growing number of requests, Charles chose to remain measured. "I cannot guide this institution according to shifting emotions," he responded with a quiet, distant formality. The weight of his words left a quiet ache in Camilla's chest. "You speak of the monarchy," she replied, her voice quivering with emotion and her eyes reflecting a deeper hurt. "But you seem to forget how much of my life has been devoted to supporting it." Charles, caught between personal affection and the unyielding demands of the crown, found himself more alone than ever. In a rare moment of openness at Clarence House, he is said to have shared with a longtime confidant a reflection heavy with weariness, that his feelings for her, however profound, sometimes felt intertwined with challenges he never expected to face. "She seeks more than I know how to offer, and I fear losing myself in the effort." Reflections like these, once spoken aloud, seemed to drift through the palace like a chilled current, prompting quiet discussions about a deeper strain, one not only affecting their partnership, but touching the inner workings of the monarchy itself. During this period, William and Kate, fully aware of the shifting atmosphere, chose to maintain a respectful distance, stepping forward only when their presence was genuinely required. According to those familiar with the family dynamic, William is believed to have shared with Kate in a quiet moment at Kensington Palace that the unfolding tension weighed heavily on his father, and that their priority must be preserving the stability of the institution. Kate, poised as always, listened with calm understanding, though her expression revealed a quiet concern. She recognized how every uncertain step, every sudden shift in judgment surrounding Camilla was like a pebble dropped into calm waters, sending widening ripples that could draw the entire royal household into a tide of uncertainty. In the shadowed hallways of the palace, the murmurs behind its stone walls grew more pronounced, signaling a turning point that could not be ignored. The tension between Charles and Camilla had moved beyond a personal challenge. It was evolving into a moment that could influence the very direction of the crown. On the morning of September 15, Prince Harry's 40th birthday arrived with the crisp touch of London autumn. Soft breezes carried the scent of scattered leaves drifting around the historic domes of Buckingham Palace, yet within its walls, the atmosphere felt dense and motionless, as if bracing for whatever would unfold next.